I really need to show you something in relation to this because I want to show you how serious this fella is, King Coffee. And I want you to just look into the background of this tribe before we go further into the night, because you lot are going to be really blown away with just how 1 minute their life is all, normal, quite luxurious actually, to be fair. So how they are today, this is how you know something has gone on badly at some point. So this, you're not going to believe this, but this is to do with Meghan Markle. Now give me a minute.
EasyJet's big orange sale is now on.
Come on. Here we go.
Hi all.
Watch this, guys.
Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the fair use, fair dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. This story's a little bit different. It does focus on Meghan Markle and somebody who's been writing about her and what's been happening.
Is the first wife, Queen Kabbalah.
Let's go. This is Jean Gasho. She has 3 children. She lives in the United Kingdom. She was born and raised in Zimbabwe, but moved to the UK when she was 17. She got an education in psychiatric nursing, and she writes fabulous books. She also does fabulous tweets on Twitter, and I watch her stuff, and there's some weird stuff going on right now. And Samantha Markle and Meghan Markle are in the mix. One of the first articles that I guess you would call it an article that she wrote, was how Meghan really bullied Kate and made her cry. And I love the article. I highly recommend you go to her Twitter wall and click on it and read it, because essentially she points out that, Meghan is picking on somebody who can't defend herself due to the never explain, never complain mantra. Then I read a fabulous thing that she wrote on how she's writing a book on Meghan's racial appropriation of Black women. In other words, she never considered herself Black until it became convenient for her. I'm like ready to buy this book. She also did a blog on why Meghan will never look good in anything she wears. I myself did a video on her style choices.
Thank you, Eagle, for helping me out with that word. That's better.
And also, I think she thinks in her brain she's 6 foot tall. But it's refreshing to hear an African-American woman speak up with her point of view. Now, this is where things get really, really weird. Supposedly, this woman and Samantha Markle have been texting each other back and forth, and Samantha Markle is now making those texts public. And in this text, the first one, she says that her husband deleted the entire book she was writing from her laptop and said that he loves Meghan and he's angry with her. Well, first of all, let me just interject by saying that's control, which is abuse. He should leave it up to her whether she wants to write a book. I don't like that she said that. And she also wrote that she thought that Samantha was jealous of Meghan. Then she wrote, I'm never going to do this book, and I'm not going to write anything negative about Meghan because she's been through too much. And finally, she said that she trusts her husband. She needs her marriage to work. So as a result, to make her marriage work, she's not going to write bad things about Meghan. And then she adds on the bottom, I was also told that Piers Morgan is in it as a publicity stunt, and I can't stand him, and I'm deleting the stuff I wrote supporting him. I was very confused by this. And then she put this up on Twitter saying she wanted her readers to know that Samantha has blocked her and is sending out false manufactured private messages that she said she sent her.
Oh, manufactured.
And she said, Samantha, do the right and honorable thing. Stop defaming me because I don't need this. Yeah. See, I have to wonder, how do you make fake messages? Like, I'm sure it happens. I just wouldn't know how to do it. So you have to wonder, is it fake? Is it real? And then out of the blue, now it comes up that she's writing.
Guys, no one WhatsApp me yet, please.
Meghan Markle. What she wrote is very disturbing. First thing she says,
oh my God,
is based on my Lord husband's unhappiness about things I wrote. Now, I don't know if he asked her to call him that, but if my husband ever did, I'd lop his balls off. But anyway, so basically she's decided she's not going to write the book because her husband doesn't want her to. That to me seems a little controlling. She then wrote that continue to writing, it could put her life at risk, but does not elaborate how that is. She said she'd already written 20 chapters, but is left with only one, which she sent out for proofreading. Well, that falls right in line with the husband erasing it from her computer, allegedly. Then she wrote some things that really made me nervous. She said, I want to publicly apologize to my Lord husband, the king of my north, the Moor of York, and my head and covering for my disobedience of writing articles without his approval or blessing. That may be a cultural thing, but I mean, for me, I would dare my husband to tell me what I could or couldn't do. Dare ya. She then said she was focusing on her family and husband because she wanted to win him back with her submission, loyalty, and obedience. Okay. And then the next blog she put up said that she's now a single mother and that she and her husband are no longer together, and it's through her writing that they parted. I know she's upset, but I gotta be honest, if everything she wrote in the other blog was correct, I personally, and again, I don't know her, but I personally think she might be better off. Telling somebody who they can and cannot see is abuse. Telling somebody what they can and cannot do is abuse. Telling somebody, threatening your marriage because you're writing something they don't like, that's abuse. She may not see it right now, but hopefully she'll see it in the future. Well, this woman apparently not long after had a breakdown, it's being reported, and the UK police were called because she put up a very weird
2021,
video.
she had a breakdown, guys.
I did not put any of her children in it. I thought that was just horrible, so they're not in there. And number two, this really, even though she posted it, this really shows she's having some struggle. So I'm just putting a little snippet just to give you an idea of this almost 5-minute long video. What was
Sorry
on
about the candle as well, guys. I've had to use it as a bloody holder.
In the background that was copyrighted. So just take a look at this.
Trust me, Susan, there's so much more. Yeah, Nancy.
She also put up some stuff on social media, like this one looks like it might be Twitter, but some of the other stuff is not Twitter. I really don't know what platform it is. Her children were there, they were watching this, they were crying in the background, and people found out about this because, like I said, she posted that video to social media. Well, then, of course, her husband came out with a statement, and his statement basically said the following, that they're separated, that apparently he's saying that she's delusional and that she believes she's possessed with the spirit of her late father, that he's witnessed some very disturbing behavior. He's stating that she's claiming her father was murdered, which he wasn't, and, that apparently he died of COVID, that she's been consulting the dead, like all kinds of really weird things. He basically said, we need to focus on her. I'm trying to get her help, and thank you. And then he signed the note, King of the North. I really don't know what to make of that. Now, a little while after all that drama on Facebook, Miss Gasho put up the post that you see where she says that Omid Scobie sent a payment to her husband to make sure that the book doesn't come out. And her husband never allowed her to touch his phone, but she saw the message when he was lying next to her. And the message said, make sure all the files are gone and discard the laptop if you had to, which now she says she understands that to be about her book. And she said that the husband took the money he was paid and he bought land in Scotland so he could get a Scottish title of laird. Okay, that's a lot to take in. So I don't know what's going on in her personal life, and I'm not going to comment on that because that's her private business, what's going on as far as her mental health struggles. I am concerned that she is no longer going to write things about Meghan because it upsets her husband. I am a little bit concerned about that. All I can say at this point is I wish the best for her. I hope if she requires help, she gets the help that she needs. What more can you say? We all wish the best for her. Good luck in the future. We hope you continue to write. Your writing is absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, good luck. So leave your comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of uploads. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Gab. You can email me. And to those who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you very much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.
So how interesting is that, guys? The fact that Eagle, do you want to come up now, hon, while the video starts? Like, that's bizarre, because now he was already abusing her, and he made out that she was the one struggling with a bad mental health. She's now claiming that she's got a dad's spirit, but he is in full control right now, sat in them woods in Scotland, getting these women to become his wives, scrub his crusty ass toes. Like, how can this man even comment on his wife's mental health? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It was manipulation. He went out of his way to make her feel that she weren't good enough as a wife. Now they're splitting up. She said in her own words she was going to do anything. Well, she did. She went out and got him another wife. That other wife is no longer with us, as you've seen. Sorry, I've got hiccups, everyone. Now, this girl here, as you all know, is a 21-year-old Texas woman who vanished with her baby 3 months ago. Says she's been found living in a Scottish woodlands with a self-styled ancient tribe. Corey Taylor. So I've been looking into this young lady, and once again, she's got lots of family and friends. They're all begging her to come home. They're playing, please come home. You know, you've got a life at home here. But she come over here with her child. But what I don't get is, before the tribe had requested another wife, they was carrying out this. Virginity testing. Sick individuals. So what I don't get is, why was that important? Because, you know, this girl has already had a child in America. She's brought it over to the UK, which now the UK services have removed. And in fact, it was the day Rangy was outside trying to stop all the professionals getting into that property. That's when all of this had stemmed from. Like, I don't understand why Rangy is literally putting a big defence up for this family. Because let's now look at what Rangy does on this piece of paper here. Why is he watching a live bolt tracker nearly every single day? It's a bit strange, innit? And as well, he also owns an actual travel agent's firm. I've got confirmation of that. You're right, Eagle.
Yeah, I'm all good. I don't feel confident enough to speak on everything, but obviously that's concerning because even though I've been following them for years, it's like I never realised Rangi was actually involved in Stockton-on-Tees because they actually had they was going out and putting curses on people, X's on people in the community and scaring children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot to it actually. I'm just actually looking right back to 2021 when we first started looking into them. But people say, "Oh, it's juju, this, that, and the other." It's not. They're using the Holy Bible, and I speak from obviously being a
Yeah.
born again, spirit-filled believer. They are using Scripture. This is something to do with tribes of Asian, basically, going back to 400 years old. And a lot of it, we just don't understand how they went from being property owners and having everything and a lavish lifestyle to having their children taken off them for neglect, you know, she actually went to prison for 6 months. And then on top of that, he went to prison as well. There was domestic violence involved, terribly. And the children definitely needed removal. And you know me with social services, at the end of the day, if you can keep a child with the parents, then by all means keep a child with the parents, as long as there's no abuse. Well, obviously, the abuse was the neglect with the said children. But there's a what's he call it with the one that's come in, and she came in with baby, and that baby has been taken as well.
Yep.
It's he thinks he's the Messiah. He's got them believing that he's the Messiah. The Bible actually says many will come in my name, but I've not sent them. He's one of them. And what I'm seeing, to be quite honest, is a cult that's appeared. But these have been going for quite a while. They had the children actually marked up with tribal signs on their faces as well. So they was getting the children involved in all this. It is ritual. It's ritual abuse, a spiritual ritual abuse going on here.
And Eagle, what do you reckon on the protection that Rangy's trying to give these individuals? Because I don't know if you've noticed, but you know one of his biggest links is Scotland. We know he loves to mention Scotland. He wants free land in Scotland.
Yeah, he's mentioned that, hasn't he?
Yeah, like literally, he's constantly now, nearly every week, asking for land in Scotland more than everywhere else. And I'm just thinking now, was it him who moved these individuals to Scotland? Because look what he's admitted with his own mouth. Not only does he ship women and kids out from social services, but he ships them out in
No,
general.
apparently they made their own way up there. They actually they got run out of Stockton and Tees, to be quite honest. And this
Wow.
is where they ran to Scotland to take over the land.
And
So,
Eagle, sorry to
right.
be a pain, my lovely. What actions was they actually doing in Stockton on Tees? What was they doing to scare individuals? Was it children as well, did you say?
Yeah, I think it was just basically the way that they looked with the markings on their face and the tribal and the native basically. So they went. It seems like they had the children removed and then they just went full blown native
Right, yeah, because
back
they
to
don't
their
like
roots.
white people, do they? I've noticed that.
No, I mean I'm even thinking about going up and going to investigate, to be quite honest, and go and see them.
Well, please do, because
Quite
yeah, it's just
interesting.
nice to see everyone come together and do this, because what I'm worried about right now is the victim. They've now got in the tribe the new victim who's come from Texas. Obviously, she wanted to be a
Did you
lawyer.
see what hang on, what did you see what I sent you on your WhatsApp?
No, not yet. I'll have a look now. One
Right, can you
second.
just have a look at that? That'll give you some more understanding.
This is absolutely nuts.
You see what I've just sent you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Right, 1 minute, guys. I'm going to show you what I've got here. Let me just make sure that I've got no details on show.
No, I made sure there isn't.
1 minute, save. My God, this is so sad. Right, gallery.
They've been shipped on from that other place because they was wrecking. They even used the horse here to make clothes, didn't they? And
Hold on.
destroyed the like fences and everything of the woman who owned it. Bless her. There
Wow,
you go.
guys, look at that. So that there is Aaliyah Johnson, who, as you know, is now passed, and that is the new wife. the second wife.
So this is telling me also that they're probably in control of this actual profile of Lady Sappho.
Wow. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. And then you've
Did you
got
see
this
the other that
one.
I sent you? Oh, yeah. So she's claiming to be a child sexual SA abuser survivor.
And believe me, the mother is actually calling for her to go back to America. She's also claimed she wants to know how her daughter got over it, and she wants to know how long the grooming had been going on for online before she actually come over here to the UK, because apparently she'd been brainwashed for a long, long time.
But
So,
also we have to remember, as survivors, the
mm-hmm,
parents do try and get us back in order to be able to take us out. We
yeah,
have to
yeah.
remember that. So we have to. So it needs deeper looking. I'm looking into it anyway. I'll send you what I've found so far.
Thank
I
you,
didn't realise
Ego.
you was doing this exposure, but when I saw Rangy, I thought, hang on, I didn't even realise he was involved in Stockton and Tees.
Well, he says that about Mr. XY too, doesn't he?
Is that Nandy's visa?
Say that again.
The handmaiden's visa is about to run out, apparently.
Yeah, and did you see how her face looked when someone questioned her about it the other night?
Mm. There's a lot going on in all of this. I mean, obviously the king's done, and there was domestic violence even before they went down this road. There
Well,
was. Got a video of that.
have you actually seen what she used to be like years ago, Ego?
Yeah, yeah.
I bet other people haven't now, have they?
I bet they haven't.
Are you ready? Shall we show them a little taster of what she used to be like? This is her,
My
guys,
gosh,
years ago.
this is just absolutely mind-boggling.
Good morning. This is Mary Tama here, the Queen of the North. Today is the 17th of January, 2022. It's the Monday morning, and I am very, very excited. I'm all dressed up. I'm in my office. I'm working. I've got a lot of things to do today.
Exactly.
But before I get into my work, I wanted to do a very
So
quick video.
that,
Property involved in property and the community, and I can't
yeah,
get my head around it.
I am really, really shocked, because I think that just shows you the level of how bad mental health can be as well. You know, someone having a breakdown after they've had a lovely home, careers, to be where they are today. And I'm going to now show you.
Removal of your children, obviously. I mean, I can speak from experience. I lost my children for 5 years to the local authority care, as you know, Shell. And when you lose everything, I mean, you're in the pit of despair. But and I'm thinking to myself, I'd have called on, and obviously I stayed in my faith whilst I went through the loss of my children till I won them back. And I'm still in my faith now. And it was only my faith that could actually get me through what I went through. And I went through hell and back, as you know. And I'm looking at it this way as well, the fact that they've just gone full blown into their faith. They thought, well, we've got no children. Do you know what I mean? Nobody can stop us. And they've just gone and lived off the land.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
Well, I'm going to show you now
But
this. So
living
you've
off
just
other
seen her.
people's lands.
You've just seen her sat at the office. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Mary Tama, was Jin Gasho. Today is the 5th of July 2024. I am very, very tired and I'm exhausted because I should have prepared
She
my
tried to stop them
breakfast.
taking the baby
As you can
out
see,
of
I'm
her
really
stomach.
pregnant. But I
Mm-hmm.
had to walk
There's
all
so
the way
much
from
to
my
it.
house to come here today to make an official report of a very serious offense that was done to me in my own kitchen last Sunday, the last day of June. By Cleveland police, 3 policemen came into my kitchen unauthorized, no search warrant, nothing, to literally look at my body. So I am very, very unsafe as well. So I
Make sure that she had the baby in there.
my
I mean,
power
that's
to
crazy.
protect
Well,
my
she's saying that now Cleveland police went in, SH'd her, and yet she didn't give them permission. Now, is it me, or does it sound like Rangy's little narratives have been put into her head?
It needs looking into deeper.
Hang on, let me just carry it on.
Go on, sorry.
I have been suffering so much harassment from the police system for over 2 years now. In February, I was arrested for child abduction whilst I was pregnant. No, that wasn't in February. I was arrested for something else. I was arrested last October when I was just a few weeks pregnant, like 2-3 weeks pregnant. I was arrested. I spent 3 days in police custody, Cleveland
Yeah.
police, where I was handcuffed the whole night to a chair
Yeah.
in police custody. I came back home after 3 days with bruises on my face and my hands were swollen from the handcuffs. They didn't take the handcuffs off me. In February, I was also arrested when they plastered my pictures all over social media where I saw so many racist comments against me and my husband. They literally just put our pictures out there to be harassed by the public. They were lying. Cleveland police lied that they were concerned about my welfare, but yet it was because they thought, one, I had given birth and they wanted my baby. And they also thought that one of my husband's second wives has had a baby. They thought I have Lady Safi's baby, so they were hunting for me. I was also arrested during that time. We had gone for like a break. Me and my husband, and they said I'm missing. We were at an Airbnb in Darlington. They hunted us down, barged into the Airbnb. There were over 50 police officers. I don't know how many cars were outside. My husband was thrown on the floor, handcuffed and arrested, and I was left alone, very vulnerable with the police. They were touching my stomach. I was very, very violated as well. I was handcuffed, put at the back of a police van, and I was taken to Teesside Hospital, and I was forced to have a scan whilst handcuffed. When I arrived at the hospital, everybody looked at me because all they could see is a criminal, a black woman in handcuffs, being forced to attend hospital. This is just a few of the things that I've suffered in the hands of Durham Police and Cleveland Police. In November 2021, when the police actually stole the children, on that cold November night, I was also arrested for child neglect, even though there was never any evidence of it. I was literally breastfeeding Chania, and they took her off my breast. Chania was crying. I was handcuffed after my husband had been arrested. Then I was arrested. When I was arrested, I had no coat. It was very, very cold. I had no shoes. I begged them to put on shoes, but no, they refused. I walked outside on a very cold November night without shoes, without a coat, and I could hear my children crying. Fadzai was wailing. Chania, my baby, was crying. This is just a few of the things I have gone through in the hands of the police in this country who claim to protect the public and people like me. But because of how I look and how I dress and who I am not entitled to any police protection. Rather, what I get is abuse. This is why I've come today. Whilst I should be in bed resting, I've come today to make this official report. It's actually a criminal offense and I'm reporting it. And I know that my justice is coming. Enough is enough. I'm a Hebrew woman. I worship Yahweh, the God of all creation. And this abomination that has been done by Esau Esau, his violence, as it says in Psalm, that by the rivers of Babylon. Remember Edom, O Yahweh, in the day of Jerusalem. Happy is he who would dash their children against stones. I am Mary Tama, my words will never fall to the ground. Mukuru ilizwe, kubala kubala.
Yeah, guys, even that in itself is like, you've got to think now, right? You've just seen her at an office, looking all professional to that. And then you just think, well, where's she gone wrong? And then she's saying all these quotes, what actually Rangy would say, and his minions would say. How do we know that's not Rangy now filming her as she's outside that police station? But what I have noticed about Rangy is he likes to latch on to individuals with really severe mental health issues. And I have been warned, I'm going to be honest with you all now, I was warned 6 months ago that Rangy was involved in an African family's life where something about black magic had come about, but also Rangy already had previous to do with black magic because of his own mother when he was a child.
This isn't
So,
black magic. This
no,
is
I've
not
just,
black
hang
magic.
on 1 minute, Eagle. So I'm thinking, right, black magic is in with this African family. Which one is it? So then there's 3 different families, and one of them has actually put on the website an award for Rangy, which states Rangy is in with charities within the African community. I also have that proof. So then you ask yourself, well, why is Rangy getting his foot in the doorway of African community charities? He's going a bit too quick with all these charities, group to group, group to group. Well, I've said it before. Is he still a police informant? Because if you looked at them videos, you will see he's tried to approach 2 officers by going, I know about the family, let me in, I can sort it. Or is he not in operation today as a police informer, but what he is doing, he's now siding with vulnerable individuals and trying to turn them into his minions of being criminals. When I say that, I'm talking from he's using these individuals as, harassment. He's using them to go out and harass professionals. Now, I'm going to make a good point here, and you can check this for yourself on Google. Aurangzeb Latif, in his own words, told the media and the courts that he was coming for every single social worker in Cleveland, Middlesbrough, everywhere around that area. He was going to bring a demonstration to their front door. And if you don't believe me, everyone go on Google, type in Aurangzeb Latif, a man with an ASBO, against social services, and you will see, 1 minute guys, sorry, you will see that he actually threatened and put targets on social workers' backs and threatened to turn up at their front door with demonstrations. In other words, protesters and, well, other individuals that just want to start beef with social workers because they feel like it. So I'm going to show you something now, just bear with me. Just give me a minute. Just bear with me, guys. I'm just getting everything up now. Here we go. So, this is them going to the social workers.
Screwballs on the loose.
Don't keep my children in your house. You is never. Don't ever. I am the mother of Shigai and Kunase. You have no right to keep them in territory. Don't. You die every step.
Follow for updates. Screwballs on the loose.
So they was able to track down, literally, where social workers lived, foster parents, and then they started turning up outside doors of these professionals, cursing houses, cursing them, telling them they hope that this and that happens to them. Now, once again, I'm going to remind you of one of Rangy's phrases. I am going to bring my whole demonstration to your front door. That's not his whole demonstration, clearly, but I'm just stating a fact. Seems like copycat information that have been sucked in back. Well, they've been sucked in a little bit, but every little bit of a move that they're doing in regards to this, well, it only sounds like one person's behaviour tactics. And this is where now my head's starting to fall off, because how many more people are going to go and put themselves in this situation? Do people actually genuinely think that's how they're going to get the children back out of the care system? However, once again, I do need to remind you that this lady who is shouting, she is a victim to that big bully who she's married to.
She's traumatised.
She is, and I can tell that, Eagle. But also, I am very, very concerned that anybody would think that is normal behaviour. So if you're watching this and you are struggling with social services and you think, oh, I'm going to go and bash my social worker's door down, well, don't bother. Don't even bother, because I'm going to tell you now, the moment you do any of that or condone any violence to these professionals, do you really think they're ever going to see you as a safe space for your child? And this is where some of you do not sit down and think. You watch videos like that, oh, big up to you, or big up to Rangy, you're out there fighting the world. No, they're not. They're out there losing children. That's why they're all on here whinging, that children have gone into care, because they're not out there fighting for their own children. Instead, they're sat on here plotting and planning how they're going to go away and hurt professionals rather than focusing.
The thing is, though, when you've got your children in care, when your children have wrongfully been taken, that is what goes through your head. And it went through my head. Even as a born-again, spirit-filled believer, I needed to find out where the social worker lived. I needed to go to her door and have a word with her, explain to her more in depth. She hadn't listened properly. All these things go through your head. It's all about putting bricks through windows. That's the truth. And I'm not the only one. There's many parents that feel that way when you've had your gift taken away.
There is, and I'll agree with that to a certain extent, because once again, a social worker, I know people get angry with social services in general, but I'm going to give you a little bit of an example of something here.
Social services hadn't been checked out for 30 years until they did the investigation into social services.
I know, but Eagle, is different social services in different sectors, my lovely. So different things have happened in different authorities. And I think that's where sometimes there's barriers, because we're not all seeing the same shit. That's why it's good sometimes when people do come together and tell their sides. It's just sometimes there's a bit too much scaremongering going on. Then people condone violence. I'm going to be honest with you. I nearly lost my children once upon a time. But do you know what? I just sat there and I thought, no, I'll give it to them on a plate. I offered myself to do parenting classes, everything. I didn't come on social media. I didn't talk about my case with anybody. I certainly didn't go out threatening social workers, because at this point now, I've lost a mum, I've lost a dad. I ain't losing my children to strangers. So rather than argue with professionals, you have to meet them halfway. And I had to grow up, meet them halfway, which I did. and I worked with them. And the
I
other
get
week,
that, but
I
then I
got so
also know
much.
parents that have gone through hoops and hoops and hoops and still got the children in
Yeah,
local
but that
authorities.
doesn't mean you
Yeah.
turn up to their
Yeah, and I
personal
just
home.
feel like
That's
tonight
not
I'm
how you
just
do it.
why I don't understand why this is sort of. I'm not here to discuss the local authority, but I'm going to state a fact. I got my children back because I work with them, and
No,
for
they
some
shouldn't be
reason, I keep
doing
getting
what they did.
attacked left, right, and centre by Rangy and his little minions
They
with their
shouldn't.
tinfoil
They
hats
shouldn't have
on
got.
about getting my children back in my care.
Oh,
Like, because
what?
I worked with them. Everyone's case is different. I'm going to make that clear. I wasn't on drugs. I wasn't on alcohol. I passed all my parenting assessments, my risk assessments. If other people can't do that, then that's not my responsibility, is it? I get very annoyed with shit like that. We're in
But Michelle,
2025 today.
you know,
No,
the
you
bottom
know
line
that
is you don't
I got
turn
my
up at their
children back
doors.
after 5 years. Do you know what I mean? And I worked with the social services, and I advocate working with the social services, working with them, going through the courses. I'll send you the courses, and I'll literally work with you. You know, just to get your children back. But you got to do, you know, you got to show that you can take responsibility and accountability for your
Eagle, have you
part.
got any qualifications to do with social worker and stuff like that?
I haven't got qualifications.
Right. Well, then I see. I think it's wrong that you'd even try to work with people. They need to go to the professionals and get it done. It's not up for
Oh, I
random
didn't.
people
Oh, mate.
to say I'm going to help get
Listen,
your
you don't
kids
even
back.
know me. You ain't even got a
I don't
clue
care.
who I am.
Listen, don't get funny with me, mate. I'm having an opinion. If you don't like it, piss off.
Eagle, we just don't want it turning into a social services thing. I've just basically stated a fact. And this is the thing with, this is not me being mean or horrible, but
All I
everything keeps going
stated
into
was
the
that
depth of,
people
hang
do
on, can I just,
things.
Eagle, everything keeps going back into what social services do. I'm saying I won my children because I did what I was told. Now I'm being made to feel guilty because other people haven't got the right service. Once again, I'm just going to remind everybody I passed all my assessments for a reason, right? I just lost my mum. They had a very good opportunity to get what they wanted from me because I was very, very vulnerable. I was on my own. Didn't have no backup. I went into child protection and I thought, right, how do I deal with this? And I sat down, took it on the chin. I thought, you know what? I'm not having my kids go with strangers. And I put my life and soul into my children. And today they love me to pieces. I love them to pieces and they're in my care. But why is it all these people that have got issues with social services, you keep trying to target me? Because I won. Stop it. You're turning my shit now. What did I say tonight, Vimto? Didn't I tell you someone will come along and try and turn it into their shit? Well, once again, this ain't about social services. This is about people using social services and all these vulnerable causes as a way of what? To take the piss out of people. I'm telling you, we're in 2025. We're not in 1980, 1990, 1960. We're in 2025. We're all trying to fight for better justice systems and better systems in general. But I am not going to feel guilty because other people are losing out because I'm sat here today with my achievement, which is I did what I was told. I am not above the law, and neither are most of you. Neither of you. You can get in your little groups and your billboards. Do you really think that is an achievement? Because it's not. You've all got criminal records for it. Focus on what your focus is, and that is your child. Not coming on here attacking other people because they're doing better with social services than you. And once again, I don't care what I'm going to be labelled as tomorrow because I'll probably be getting called MI5 007. I don't care. I'm a normal human being who put up a fight for my children. If that makes me a bad person, then I tell you what, Jesus Christ, I'd hate to see what normal is. But
Michelle, can we
please
not forget,
stop
darling, you've
dragging
also
on
got
about the local
qualifications.
authority in my life because I've had
Who's
enough now,
saying?
the local
Who
authority.
has come at you, Shell? Who has come at you? Who has come at you?
Eagle, I think at the end of the day, what the problem is that she is it that often and people taking out of her all the time, and they'll say, "Oh, well, you shouldn't work with us, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that." Listen,
Exactly.
what she did was she did the right thing. She worked her way through, and she fought
Oh,
for
and
her
she went
children.
out and got educated, Vimto. This woman has got
Yeah, she did.
qualifications. She went and educated herself on the
And
subject.
she's a
And
smart lady.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And for people to come in here and then turn around and say, "Oh, and make her feel like
I know. I
anything
know.
else other than she's worked hard and she deserves to be where she is today, and with all the things that she's got under her belt, like her qualifications, I mean by that before
Yeah.
anybody says anything, is horrible. Like she's entitled to feel proud of what she's done and what she's got and where she's worked to be. With it, she don't need pulling down and tearing apart for it. She deserves credit and praise for what
Yeah.
she's done.
And all I was trying to say to that guy was there was 2 points that he made that I thought was not the right way. That was A, turning up to any social worker's house. You do not do that whatsoever. That is in itself threatening, whether you've said it verbally or not. Showing up at someone's private home is threatening. And the second one was he was saying that he would work with people to help get their kids back, which is why I asked, have you got any qualifications? And he said, no. Well, then it's not your business to be helping, promising other people to get their kids back. This is what Rangy's doing now. So, and that's what I'm getting annoyed with, is people with no qualifications, no right, trying to get in on other people's business and helping them with social workers. Sort your own life out and let others sort theirs.
Can I
Paul,
quickly
Eagles just
interject?
keeps spamming the
Hold
comments.
on a minute.
He's not
Can I
a
quickly
guy.
interject?
And you
He's not a
allergic
guy.
to bullshit. Why don't you get up in this
Hold
box?
on.
Because haven't you been in Ranky's live?
Everyone, calm down, please. The thing is, Eagle's not a male. She's a sister. She's had personal experience of social services, being in the care system.
Anyone that's lost their kid has had personal experience.
I don't
It doesn't
understand
mean
how
you're
my
qualified.
life has
Can I
turned
finish
into
off
social
what I'm
services
saying?
again tonight.
Please.
Why is it all about social services and tinfoil
Can I
hats?
please finish off?
Seriously.
Get back on track, darling. We're not being railroaded. Come on, look, just forget it all. Get back on track, darling, because you were doing
Allergic
well.
to bullshit. Why don't you get up in this box and tell me who you are, you little weirdo? Come on. Get up in the box and tell me who you are. You're the one that looks foolish because you're the one hiding behind a fake picture, you absolute weirdo. Why don't you take your tinfoil hat off as well? Piss off. Get out. Just think, do you know what makes me laugh as well? Do you know what makes me laugh? Some of these people, not only did they stick up for Rangy, but they used to support him. Weren't that long ago, I was made out to be a cunt. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I got rid of them, Michelle. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
Thanks, mate. I've had enough now. I've come on here tonight, yeah, to do something totally separate. And once again, this is it. You get bombarded by the little mushroom crew. Oh, 5G, it's going to kill you. Oh, they're taking children off you. I tell you what, if they're taking kids off people, why don't they want to sort my youngest son out half the time when he's up and down with his behaviour, eh? They're not that fucking corrupt, are they? Fucking idiots. Honest to God, I'm so sorry, guys. I really am. This is what I cannot stand. People are starting to get that bit of a side out of me now where I am reacting, and I am reacting because I'm not,
And
once
you've got a
again,
right to react. Don't apologise.
I ain't feeling like shit because I won my kids and did what I was told. None of us are above the law. Remember that.
Listen, Michelle, you've opened my eyes and probably a load of other people's eyes tonight about this cult thing that's going on, because I didn't know anything about this until you brought it here. So, you're doing good. Don't ever apologise. This is your live and you're entitled to react.
Thank you. Thanks, good chair.
You've been doing amazing.
Thanks, Mickey. Honestly, I just get...
people shouldn't take it and make it about their own stories. Anyway, do you know what I mean? If you're invited up into the box, then talk about...
Silly lady. Who's this Dr. Zeus, the bloody twat? lady's got more about her, right, than most of the people you fucking probably know.
You know,
you
if
silly bitch.
you know, if there was to know what goes on in your life in a day, they wouldn't have the freaking nerve to write this stuff. And that's the God's honest truth, because they wouldn't be able to carp a day in your shoes. Let me tell you.
No, definitely not. They
This
wouldn't.
woman, right? This woman has so much going on. She is, listen, she's amazing what she deals with on a daily basis. And despite all that, this woman still educates herself and digs in and researches to then bring it onto this app to help people she doesn't even know. Yeah, let's just remember that she don't know half the people here, but yet she's taking time out, yeah, which is precious to her, to try and educate and help any of you that might be getting into trouble. So a bit of gratitude wouldn't go amiss instead of trolling comments.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Honestly, guys, I'm just really shocked tonight. Once again, I just feel like people try to pick at me at every chance that they get, whether it's about social services or they're just not happy in general. I don't know why they do it. Maybe they just know what they're doing to me, but I don't like it and I'm not going to tolerate it anymore. I won't feel guilty for succeeding in life and sitting here with two beautiful sons today that love me, adore me, and have a lot of respect for me, because I've gotten to places where, well, that's what a mother's supposed to do. But it's just at times when you try and tell some of these individuals, oh, well, this went like this for me and that went, they start arguing and they make you feel like now you're in the wrong because social workers listen to you, but because they didn't listen to them, it's now your fault. How is that fair to put on someone? That is some sort of emotional abuse that online, and I'm not going to accept that of nobody. We all work differently. We all live different lifestyles. I live a quiet life. I don't, do this and that. I don't take drugs. I don't drink alcohol. I don't go out. Right, so even though I did back in the day, as you all seen on TV, the last time we had a night out must have been, last year, but it weren't really a night out. I was out for 2 hours for my friend's birthday meal. Other than that, about 8 years ago, right, that was the last night out I ever had. I don't go on nights out. I don't drink alcohol because it makes me sick. I've put my life and soul into my boys. And let's not forget where one of my boys is today, succeeding, even on TV, doing absolutely amazing with his MMA, his modelling career. He's going on adverts, he's getting himself into catalogues, he's got sponsors for clothing, merchandise. You know what I mean? What more, as a mum, could I ask for? As long as they're succeeding, that means job's done in it. I've done a great job of being a mother, for putting them where they need to be. And that's all that matters to me. So if some of these people just dropped the tinfoil hat for a while and sat down and actually thought like that, your children's future, because when you're fighting for your kids out of the care system, it's not just them physically you're fighting for, it's their future. So why waste all that resource and that time you've got to put that fighting for your kids on here, teaming up with hated groups that people want to go out and be horrible and be violent to individuals? Why do that? Why put yourself in that situation and then think you're going to come on here and take it out on people who put the life and soul into putting a fight up with the system? And then tomorrow you'll all label me with Rangy and you'll go, you're right about that queen, she's MI5, yeah, she's part of the state. Do you know what? If everyone thinks I'm MI5 or a police officer in real life, that means everyone's got something to hide. And let's face it, most of the individuals that claim to be innocent who's been over near Rangy, well, they haven't been innocent, have they? Because look at this that we're exposing tonight. And Rangy went all out to protect this family, claiming they're innocent, claiming that, they're all victims or whatever. But now we've got a girl that is passed on. We've now got a girl that's going to be, I hope not, but potentially could be the next victim. And yet tonight I'm telling this story, trying to do something nice as well to dedicate it to that poor girl who's no longer with us. We talk a little bit about the local authority, a little bit about it, yet it turns into a big thing. Do you know what I call that? And I'm going to be honest with you now. It's called a distraction. And it's funny, isn't it? Because it only seems to happen now and then. And I'm starting to feel, does Rangy send you in? Are you all still sticking up for him behind the scenes? And you think, right, what can we do to distract her tonight? Well, no one's going to distract me from the Rangy situation any fucking more. I put 19 months of my life and soul into this shit. No one is going to take this away. Right? No one. And don't forget, some of yous, what did you do last year? You went running over to that little pred stinger, didn't you? You know, the pred stinger who then turned round and told the pred she felt sorry for her. You went over to her and you tried to do what exactly? Snake me out, and you went, we don't believe Queenie, but then you come back to me, didn't you, in January? Yeah? And then now you believe me again. Nah. I'm not playing these stupid games. And do you know what's more annoying? You're supposed to be adults. Adults. But I'm not going to play these games no more. So some of you have been told tonight, if you don't like me anymore, I don't care, because I'm not here to please anybody other than parents, vulnerable individuals that need to listen to real awareness and warnings online, not bullshit about social workers, because while everyone's spouting the kids have been kidnapped by the local authority, where's the real t-shirts and posters for the children that have been kidnapped in real life? All right, now done. Enough said. I'm getting back to my story now, okay? No more distractions.
Queen,
I need my coffee 1 minute. Say something, Lily.
can I just say one thing?
Go on, darling.
You've done the most amazing thing tonight. You have opened my eyes. I feel really sorry for that girl that's lost her life and her family. I really do. And you've opened my eyes tonight to what's actually happening.
And that's all I wanted to do.
Of course, you were amazing.
Oh, thank you, Lily. And thank you, everyone, as well, for listening this evening. I'm going to carry on. I need to distract my brain quick. Go on, guys.
Sorry, Shell.
All
I
right,
just need to
babe.
clear something. When Peace and whatever it was in the comments, Paul, that was pure Islam. That so look.
Thanks, Chris, darling.
That. But pure, I've muted you because you're carrying on sticking up for Eagle. Listen, you need to just shut up, right, and leave Queen to do a thing for now, right?
Thanks,
leave her
Keith.
alone.
Thanks, Lily.
Sorry, Shell. I was just
It's
clearing
all
it
right.
up.
Queen, have a look at my back screen, love. It'll cheer you up.
I love it. Yeah, keep that on for a minute while I just get this other video.
Sorry, I just don't want Paul getting the blame for what I've done either. Do you know what I mean? Like, because Pure thought that Paul had done it. But
No, and we're not
Paul.
being horrible either. It's just we're trying to get to like important awareness, and it's just, you know, when things are getting mentioned that are not relevant, we can speak. If we're speaking about social services, it's to do with the particular topic. We're not going into what happened in 1940 and 1950 and 60 and 70 and 80. I'm sorry, that is what really does me head in, because now I feel that is a distraction technique. And a lot of people who tend to stick up for, well, the wrong ones usually tend to do shit like that. It is very annoying. Thanks, Chris. Right, give me a minute, guys. Let me get back on track. No more distractions. So I'm going to play this video while I go and make myself a coffee.
Let me make myself small again, love, all right?
Say that again, my lovely.
I was just making myself small so you can play your video.
All right, Paul, thank you. Right. I want you to watch. Come on. So this was outside their flat when they lived in Stockton.
Hang on.
I'll be back in a minute, guys. I'm just going to go and get a brew.
Can you just stop speaking? Stop speaking. I said hang on. Excuse me. What? I am 12 days overdue. How did you work that one out, Wonderland?
You had a scan in February which confirmed your due date was the 26th of June and you were having a girl.
Excuse me. One, Alice in Wonderland. It is not your place to tell me when my due date is. No. Listen to me now. You've spoken. Now it's my turn. Okay? And do you know what? BBC has contacted me today. Scottish press has contacted me today. This story is going to be heard throughout the four corners of the world. It's all being recorded. I have a social worker, Alice in Wonderland, standing outside my door telling me about my due date. How does she know the last day of my period? How do you know? When they had this scan, when they arrested me and they had this scan, you know what? I was over 3 months, so it's never accurate. I am a professional. Listen to me, Wonderland. I am a professional. I know the last day of my period. You are not here as a social worker to tell me when my baby is due. Do you understand me, Wonderland? Alice in Wonderland, do you understand me? No, I am due at the end of this month. You are not going to tell me when my baby is coming. I am due at the end of this month. My baby is safe in my belly. That's where my son is safe. Your scans get it wrong all the flipping time. We have the God who tells us when the baby's coming, not your scans. Your scan know nothing. You know what? The God of Israel is exposing you. That's why you came. Now for almost 2 months you hound me every single day. The baby is not coming because the baby knows that Esau is standing at the door. The woman and the dragon. You are standing at the door, Revelation 12, to devour my baby. Your end has come. You know what? Leslie Gibson told me, Jean, you never destroy social services. It's a big institution. They've been stealing babies for years. Mary Tama was Jean. I am going to destroy this system. I am going to expose you. The reporters are on the case. This story is in the public interest. It is now a British story. You will not steal baby Ofe. You are standing there, Wonderland. You are confused and you are ashamed. That's why you've been hiding. You are absolutely ashamed. You will not take my baby. This baby, you will not take it. Edom, shut up, you Edom. Edom, shut up. Edom, I said shut up. Edom, shut up.
Paul, you're funny.
Shut up. Shut up, Edom. Esau, look at you. You sold your birthright for a bowl of soup. Your father sold his birthright for a bowl of soup. Oh, get away, Esau. The shame of Edom, the fall of Esau, the end of Esau is the beginning of Jacob.
Screaming, saying bloody, my right. Bloody daft. It was my own going to get sorted because I understand. It's fucking migraine up in fucking nigger.
Sounded like she says he sold his dad for a bowl of soup.
You're not going to tell me when the last day of my period is.
Well, I hope it was
I am due at the end of this month. I know when my baby is coming. They are telling me I'm putting my baby at risk. My baby's due. Are you God to tell me when my baby is coming?
I don't think
How
so.
do you know when the child in my womb is coming? Behold, Esau stands at my door to devour my baby.
Right when it's
Behold,
due,
they tell me when my period was. They devour me. They want to disgrace me as a black woman. I know when my baby is due.
Thank fuck for that. Now clean your window,
How do you
love.
tell me I'm putting my baby at...
So, basically, that was, as you know, when Rangy was outside there, he was over there on that side. But this is now her on the inside recording what she's saying, because on Rangy's live you couldn't really hear what was being said. So when I found this, I thought, oh, it gives me a little bit more insight, doesn't it? You know, into the situation, why social services were there and stuff. So basically, she was due a baby, and she wouldn't get basically professional help or let midwives check her over. She believed she was just going to have the baby and she didn't need anyone to help. So if that baby was born with any health conditions or anything, then there'd be no one there to be able to look after the baby or even her. Because as you know, mothers, when you give birth, you can also, well, bleed, can't you? Heavily, really bad, to the point that can actually take your life. One second, guys. Let me just get this next video up for you. So, yeah, she didn't want to get any professional help, which is, in a way, sad, because I get that we all have issues with the NHS, and believe me, I can't stand them. Vimto will tell you that one. They nearly ended me not long ago. But at the same time, when we need medical attention and it comes to our babies and children, of course, we're going to prioritise them. That is the whole, you know, that's the whole fucking thing. That's what it should be about as a parent. You're there to protect your children. So if your children need medical attention and you're not taking them for medical attention, it is now becoming neglect. So that's why they tried to get into her flat at the time. She was overdue with the baby, and obviously they was getting ready to remove that child, and in the end they did remove the child anyway. Now in the meantime, whilst they're in the woods, they're also getting these young girls from America. They're also telling them they've got to have sexual relationships with the, you know, King Kabbalah or whatever you want to flipping name him. However, these women are now ending up pregnant and giving birth, and they're going to end up having all these babies in the woods. So that's going to become more of an issue when you're seeing social workers barging through bloody woods to go and rescue a whole load of babies. So
Michelle, can I ask you
yeah,
something, darling? Can I ask you something, right? Because this is the bit I don't get. Right. So this guy, he's decided to call himself king, hasn't he?
yes.
Yeah. I want to know why, in the first place, do these women then say, "Oh, okay, you're our king"? I don't get that bit.
It's, how can I put it? In different cultures, they've got their own beliefs, right, Paul? And this is what I've had to go away and obviously look into, because once again, you've got to be very sensitive with your approaches with people.
Yes.
And one of the biggest thing in that is studying a bit about different cultures. And one thing I do have a lot of respect for is if someone's got a belief, it's not my duty to go in there and go, oh, I can't believe you believe in that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not natured like that, whereas some people are. Now, for these individuals, these obviously believe in the king and the queen cultures and, you know, the rituals that they do. And for them, they're just very passionate about what they are believing in. And the wife, I don't know if you clocked on earlier on in the previous video that we was watching, but he was already controlling with her, and they split up. And she says in her own words, I will do anything you want me to do for us to stay together. So she's obviously now bowed down, done what she's told by him, and she was the one that come up with the idea to get him another wife to keep him happy. Because if she didn't do that, he no longer wanted to be with her. And that is one thing Jean couldn't handle. So she ended up bowing down, calling him king, and now look at the situation that they're in. But one of the things that I find bizarre in this is the fact that he was putting statuses up, as you seen a minute ago, that his wife was now mentally poorly. Now, when you look at him in the woods, well, I'm not being funny, but I think the shoe is now on the other foot.
Yes,
And
100%.
you can also see as well he's in control. And when that young girl, the one from Texas, let me just get her up on here for a minute. So
So would
people
you say it's a mixture of fear, coercive control, and probably a little bit of like Stockholm syndrome as well.
Definitely, yes, because if you would have seen this poor young girl the other night when she was being questioned on a live, she was sort of moving her eyeballs. She wouldn't look directly at the person who's filming her. She wasn't looking at the screen. It's like she wasn't allowed to. But you could see her eyeballs very close up watering when she was being asked very sensitive things, especially when he was talking about her child.
So
You
she's
could
even too
see
scared to say, I need help, or she's just paralysed, basically, isn't she?
exactly, her brain right now is just blank. And what these ladies are doing, they've got to sign basically some sort of ritual contract, whether it is doing a ritual as part of that contract when they enter this tribe. These poor girls are now, what's the word, signing the life away, unfortunately, because one of the rules of these individuals within the woods is you ain't leaving, you won't leave them. And the last one who tried to, well, the curse got her. That is what Jean says in her own words. Well, look what we've shared
So it's
tonight.
psychological abuse as well, isn't it? Big
Yes.
time, you know, and also because they've got the sort of religious aspect to it, they also probably feel in some part that if they was to now walk away, they would be punished by God or whoever it is.
That's
they
it.
believe
And that's stemming back
Got
to the
ya.
passion in their belief and culture. So that's why at the same time, although people might think, oh, well, they're weird then, why are they doing that? No, we've got to respect at the end of the day. We all live differently. We've all got different cultures. That's why we've got to be very sensitive about certain topics when you're explaining them. So with what Paul's just said there, he's just hit the nail on the head. You know what I mean? It comes down to the fact that it's their religion, their belief, and they're passionate. And sometimes passion, it can lead to, well, obsessive behaviours. But what worries me more, especially with Jean, she's very vulnerable herself. And the fact that the husband was already being abusive to her before they've now ended up in the woods. We've had one girl already passed on. What gets me about the black magic thing is, and I'm going to be honest with you, I said it before, some people believe in it, some people don't. The ones that do believe in it and they've got mental health issues, they are more vulnerable to literally having a belief in that. So one of your vulnerabilities that people can get you at if they are threatening you with black magic or anything like that, which once again earlier on, I was being told that they don't perform black magic, but I've just read in the articles earlier they do. So I think that was a form of distraction now. I'm starting to think a bit deeper into that.
Yes, I thought that when that person said that, I was like, no. Because we see the video of them doing it outside the houses. I mean, that was a form of it.
Well, this is it. That's what I'm saying.
And
so,
also that's what's playing into the fear factor psychologically with these women.
spot on, Paul. That is it. It's scaremongering, and it is now getting way out of control. But you see these young girls that have lived in America, been brought up in America. Come on, I'd love to go to America tomorrow. What is over here for these girls? What, the woods in Scotland? And it's sad because even the friends and the family of this girl here now are saying she's got everything back at home. Everything.
Michelle, remember the other pit that's missing, right? The reason why they're on that land is because aren't they planning on trying to reclaim that land as their own?
Yes, apparently
That's
so.
what's dangerous, because if they do somehow manage to do that, then technically, I don't know if someone else can correct me or not, but can they not then have their own laws? Because that'd be classed as their land.
Yes, and now I want to hit on something here now. You've just brought something up. So I want you all now to connect some dots together. And I love this now because this... Sorry, Mickey, what, darling?
And under the Housing Act, if you claim a part of land which isn't already claimed, and not owned by anybody, after a certain amount of time, you
Yeah,
can
you're on
actually
about
claim it.
Scotland's rights, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Well, I'm glad you lot are here tonight because I love it when this is how our lives should be, and this is how it's going to start being again. I want you all to connect some dots together now because Vimto's heard this all flipping day. In fact, Paul and Vimto have been chewing their ears off for weeks on this, but unfortunately, we've had bullets left, right, and centre coming in, and it's like, I'm sat here just bursting to get it all out. So, we've all seen the video of Rangy now protecting this family, this cult. He went out of his way to ensure to the police that the police are in the wrong for going to this family. So you ask yourself then, well, why is Rangy protecting them so much, telling people if they come back in the middle of the night, he's going to be there for them and all of that? Like, come on. So then, another dot. Rangy and his minions have been asking for land in Scotland, which you've all seen because I've got all the receipts, all the evidence, and I could show all that tomorrow night. However, in them videos, he's asking for land so he can grow food, so he can distribute loads of food to families. But do you know where one of his minions went wrong? One of his minions went into an Asian group of men on here that I actually got on with very well. They already know Rangy, and Rangy's minion tried to get in there and go, you know that Queen Bee, as usual. His name was If You Know, You Know, but he just keeps changing it. But he goes and he goes, do you know that Queen Bee? Well, this guy called Doctor actually rips into him and says, do you know what, are you giving yourself self-praise or something like that? And this guy goes, I've helped many people like you that don't talk English. And I'm like, oh my God, how dare you be so rude to my good friend there? Anyway, do you know what was even worse? I'm sat there going, hang on. He said the other week he's helping families with social services. Now he's admitting he's helping families who don't talk English. But they're watching a live boat tracker nearly every day of migrants coming over to the UK. Rangy Latif owns a travel agents firm. Then he's been busted already for being good friends with UK immigration, Shazia Anjum, who claims to be UK immigration, but she's been disbarred. She's also been done for misconduct and had her own kids removed out of her care for the crimes she's committed. Yet she seems to rub shoulders with the one and only Mr. Latif. So put a travel agents firm and a bent UK immigration solicitor. Add them together equals what? Well, you've got one doing the paperwork, the administration to get a visa and stuff like that. You've got the other one plotting and planning what plane they're getting on, what location they're going to. Then you've got these young girls coming from America. Where does Rangy say he's got connections to? Texas, of all places. All different places in America, especially Neo Anderson. He likes to brag about that all the time. But they're international, aren't they, our LCS News? Very international. So, they're international. Rangy's got connections with the African community because he's been involved in charities for the African community in, believe it or not, Stockton-on-Tees, where this group was living at the time on Yam Lane. Now, so we put all that together, yeah? Now I want you to think like this. One girl comes from Ohio, which is Aaliyah Johnson. She's now passed on, God bless her soul. Now we've got a new girl who's come in. And now this one has come from Texas. This is really, really concerning, and both lots of parents for these girls, even the one who's passed on, the questions still remain today. How did they get to the UK? Now let's look at Rangy's
I think it's
background.
Randy's new travel company thing he's got, isn't it?
Oh, well, he's had it for years, Paul. He's
Oh,
had it for years.
Wow.
And another thing we need to recap on what Rangy did. He went into the headquarters of Greater Manchester Police and told the police on a live stream he shipped a whole load of kids out of the country. Oh, and by the way, he got his device took off him that day, but he didn't tell anyone on here. And then to top it off, he tells an Irish lady on here that he goes into the place of social services and he kidnaps and takes and steals, he said, steals their mothers and children and puts them to safety. He's now wanting to gain £1 million a year from the public so he can raise funds for safe houses. Well, do you remember when I told you a year ago what he was up to? Say that again, Paul.
Buy land. I'm sure I've heard him say they want to buy land.
I'm just about to get onto that now. So a year ago, I was told Rangy was sending money to Pakistan. When I asked why, what's over there in Pakistan for him to be sending money to, because his family are over here, apart from one of his brothers, and his mum and dad don't like him, but he comes on here and makes out, you know, he's got a big family and all of that. But in reality, his family have actually disowned Rangy. So I'm thinking, right, what's he sending money to here? And you know how I know he's sending money? Because you know Rangy actually manipulated an old lady on here to drive £50,000 to another location. So it's not the lady's fault either, I must admit. I've seen this woman, and believe me, she doesn't even look like she belongs on TikTok, if I'm honest. It's sad because that's somebody's grandparent. Very, very vulnerable little old lady. So I'm thinking to myself, why is he getting her to do it? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Let's just pick on the vulnerable and the individuals that have got clean names. You know, a little old lady dropping me bag of 50k off to wherever. Of course, it's not going to fall back on Rangy, is it? Or his minions. Because he's now using these individuals online that he's gathered, that he says he wants people to come together. No. He's using people. Using yous. And I say that with passion. He's using yous. Do you really think he cares? Why do you think he got himself involved with these? Because of the capabilities, the levels and the extent that they are prepared to go to destroy what? Social services houses. Put out threats to individuals and professionals. But then what else does Rangy like to do? He likes to be in control of women. Does Rangy think he's going to become the next king or whatever in Scotland as well? Because it seems to me this is what he's trying to do. However, the money he's been sending to Pakistan has actually been going into a mansion that he's actually bought pretty cheap, and he's been building it now for nearly 2 years. And believe me, I'll say it loud, the police are aware of it. He's been promising these women since 19 months ago, if they want to get out of the country, away from the local authority and give birth to their babies. Now, let's take it back to Jean's video. What was she screaming about? What was those professionals wanting to do to her? According to her, that is, because we know it doesn't. They don't go in your house and just rip out your child out your belly. But they wanted to take a child, so they was ready for her to give birth. He's promising women like her, which I have got solid evidence of, 19 months worth. He's telling women, I'll get you out the country. I can get you away from the local authority. They won't take your child. Don't you, Rangy Latif? So then you think, right, that's another dot now to put to all of this. He's promising women like that Jean there, he's going to get them out of the country. Well, when I found out this 50k was going into this mansion, I'm thinking 50k, you'd need more than that. But I do believe in Pakistan it is pretty cheap to buy a property, and you can just get it built up for cheap. But it's took him 2 years, and he's turning it into an orphan, but for mothers and children from all different parts of the country. But why just choose Pakistan as a place? Why not, I don't know, Australia? Why not even Africa, or why not Germany? Why's it got to be Pakistan, where he originally comes from? Do you know why? Because it's his comfort zone. He's got criminal friends, family members that are still in dealings with him today, that are waiting for people's details and data and information. And do you know what this group does? They'll sell you information. So, the moment LCS News and Rangy goes, just send me your court documents, they ain't looking at your case. No, they're too busy looking at your national insurance number, your name, your date of birth, even your children's. And then do you know what they're doing? They're setting up educational applications in different countries. Do you know why that is? Because if they're seen to be getting education, right, in a country, they can get a visa. And that is how visas are now created. And you know how I know that? Because 6 weeks ago, I got something through the post that someone in Switzerland or wherever has been trying to get, finance for a university. Luckily, I'm not stupid. And I felt like that was purposely done by probably the one and only TB. Because, that was a scare tactic. Anything I said, it'd happen. And it happened. Well, luckily, I went to the Serious Crimes Unit, just like you're supposed to, and the National Crime Agency, and the Fraud Squad team, the whole shebang. Give out my name, my address, told them about the whole bunch of criminals that are already being investigated. However, an application is now being done to my home address for someone in a different country. Even the police was gobsmacked that I knew how it worked. Maybe I've watched too many 24 hours in police custody. By the way, big up to Hayley Comet, by the way. I watched that episode. It was fantastic. But yeah, so I'm thinking like, well, all this shit's coming out. Like, what's next? Then, not only have we got him wanting land in Scotland, offering women to get out the country, but he's now talking about how many people are coming into the country. He's now watching live trackers. He's now talking about how many migrants are coming over. Well, let me just tell you now. Other than the educational purposes of using your details and visas, do you know what else your details are being used for? They're being sold to different countries and being used in contact centres. So if your phone is belling out constantly 100 times a day with, hello, madam, this is Pete from fucking Loans for Go or whatever, you're like, well, I haven't applied for a loan. And you'll say to them, well, can you confirm then what my address is? And they'll go, no, you need to do that. No, put the phone down, tell them to piss off, leave you alone. Block the number, because eventually it'll get to the stage where you got to change your SIM card, because that's what else happens.
I'll just argue with them.
Say that again, Mickey.
I'll just argue with them, especially about the Amazon ones. Because I used to work for Amazon, so I know how they work.
Yeah, and once again, I'm going to tell everyone, Rangy and his minions do have offices. They're in actual lockups. So you know them places where you go and store your furniture and stuff? Yeah, they're in them. They've set them up into offices in Rochdale, Oldham, Yorkshire, and even London. If you're asking me how I know about London, well, Rangy's been making quite a few trips to London over the past 18, 19 months, but consistently. Then let's not forget what he did to a poor young lady in London. So, I'm not going to mention no names, but there is a video already up on my wall and you can go and see it. I have covered her face for her own protection. However, high five to this young lady, because she come out, no fucks given, and she raised her voice and she said, look, he's done this to me. The worst part was, this girl was vulnerable and she referred to him as Reggie, not Rangy. I tried to see if she just got it confused, but no, she was very adamant to me. She was basically trying to say, listen, right, just because I'm vulnerable, I'm not stupid. And, you know, I just took that on the chin. I thought, you know what, she's actually telling me, you know, she's right. So I said, go on then, how long did he call himself Reggie for? The whole time. So because she referred to him as Reggie, Rangy went along with that because it fitted his narrative. It fitted, you know, his blagging game now. So he's now promised to help this young lady get her children out of the care system. He's going to write to her social workers. Well, I'll tell you what he did. Him and his minions wrote to her social workers, all right. A bunch of rubbish about kids being trafficked from social services. That was nothing to do with this young lady's case, which then went against her because now she was being seen to be bringing in third parties into her case as threatening and intimidation tactics towards social workers. Then Rangy wanted this lady's information, and what this lady did, yeah, she did send some things, but she also went back off to her advocate and she said, this man wants to help me. The advocate went away, did a few checks on this bloke, took him to Metropolitan Police. Well, it come back not good. You shouldn't be around children. Shouldn't be around children. Is a high risk. So then this young lady, not only has she now lost the children into the care system because she's now been seen she's too vulnerable to keep herself safe and the children, but this guy, Rangy and Neo Anderson, have been threatening her, telling her they know what foster care her children are in. They're going to go and hurt the children. They're going to go and get the children. Well, that poor girl broke down so much, she did turn to her social workers. She's now lost the children into the care system, which is really sad. Really, really sad. Because you know what? I blame social care as well. They should be teaching these vulnerable parents and women about danger. Because, you know, it is hard, especially if these individuals do not have any, you know, safety, basically guidance. That's what I'm saying. They've needed guidance, and that's all it takes is even 5 minutes to just sit a parent down and say, look, please don't share your details online. Why can't social workers do that? But instead they removed this poor lady's children, and now she's sitting there heartbroken. But do you know, at the same time, not only has she lost the children, but she's lost a bit of her freedom, because now she's in police protection. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're going to leave that one at that. But that's how serious and dangerous this gets. Now we've got another lady in Ireland. She's all over this app anyway. You'll know who she is, but I'm still not going to mention her name. It's down for you to go and look for yourself. I think, in fact, there's someone in here that's connected to this young lady. So this young lady is now in a women's refuge, currently pregnant. And she's already lost 2 children into the care system. She's currently fighting to get them back. And what was happening, she reached out to Rangy. Rangy was forcing money on her. And every time he forced money on her, she'd say, no, I don't need anything. I'm okay, thank you, Rangy. Then he forced 40 euros onto her and said, please, you know, go and get yourself some food. I insist. So she did. A few days later, if you look down my TikTok wall, there's a leaked phone call with a lady called Rafia, another vulnerable individual, but she is a minion at the same time, a Rangy. However, she's now telling another mother who's sticking up for the vulnerable mother. She's now sticking up for her, and what she did say on the live. So that Rafia goes, well, Rangy contacted a social worker and told him she was begging for money and food. Now, this is a man who's too busy telling you to keep social workers out of your lives. So now why is he ringing social workers after he's just forced money onto a young woman, a young mum, and then thought he could pick up the phone a bit later and manipulate the situation? Well, that is a tactic. You know why? Because she woke up, sniffed out a rat, and realised what he was now doing. He was only setting up universal credit accounts in her name, and this was only a couple of months ago. If you don't believe me, please go down wall. You'll see all the receipts. No one needs to lie. And that's before I do get anyone coming in here saying, oh, Rangy's a good guy, because he's not. And I don't know how much more it's going to take me to keep doing all these awareness lives. But I'm telling you, I know there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people. But it's whether some of these people want to wake up or not. And I get some people don't want to wake up to the truth. I get that fully, I do. Especially if you've had a bit of trust, a bit of faith, and you know, you've had a good friendship and now things are coming out. I get that fully, I really do. But is it really worth clinging on to something that's just putting you and others at high risk? No, it's not. And that's why I'm saying, what has Mr. Latif actually done in the last 19 months since he's been on TikTok? We've got this family here on the screen that are going viral right now for being in the woods in Scotland. And I've watched people joke about them, especially one particular person from Brighton. All she does is sitting there going, Kabbalah, Kabbalah, you know, with the other one from Rochdale. And it's women like that are gaslighters, because whilst they're laughing, taking the mickey, making jokes, they're not actually seeing the real pain in these young ladies' eyes. Do you know what I mean? They're not discussing what we're all talking about now. You know, the dangers, the exploitation, the links between Rangy and these. Come on. And I really don't know what more I'm going to have to do to convince everyone what I'm saying is 100% truth. However, I think after what you've all seen tonight, you've got to ask yourself one thing now. Rangy is a man who claims to come online and be a saviour. He claims he's going to help women and children. Well, do you not think or agree that he's helping the wrong people? Then you ask yourself a little bit more. You open this other little doorway in your head. Well, why is he only helping the wrong uns? Why? That's right, because they use
Vulnerable
each
as well,
other.
isn't it? It's vulnerable people, and it's so that because there's always a benefit out of it for him.
Totally. You're spot on there, Paul. And this is what I'm saying, like, you know, he's only targeting these vulnerable individuals more because he knows he can get into their heads. He's giving them false promises. He's going to get the children back. These people are already in a desperate situation and a desperate place in their heads. So if someone says, oh, I'll get your child back, of course they're going to snap their arm off. They're going to do whatever it takes. So this is where now Ranky's getting his foot in there and he's instructing these vulnerable individuals on how they can get back at the local authority, the police. But one thing no one's seeing, he's thriving off this. He's enjoying it. He's inciting hate. And he's doing it very, very clever. He's inciting violence. Just like he says in the newspaper, he's targeting social workers' front doors. Yes, he is. And it is now getting way out of control. And in a minute, I'm going to play something for everyone to see, because I'm not going to hide this now. It's been dealt with. Hopefully the creature won't even come anywhere near my front door ever again, because the moment he does, I'll be sending Snoop out.
And do you know what it is, Michelle, right, with Rangy as well, is I've noted, well, it's pretty clear to see, really, that other people's miseries is his opportunities. He's an opportunist. Yes. That's what it is. You know, he sees their pain and their troubles as more opportunities for him.
Oh. Spot on, Paul. You're right. Does anyone else want to say anything before I
Sees it as his gain. He's going to gain out of it.
Say that again, Mickey, darling.
He's going to gain out of it.
1 minute, guys. Sorry, I'm just trying to focus on this. Yeah, listen to this.
First, it started with, so I obviously, called me and then she was like on live, she was like, oh, I didn't call you, you're lying. I'm like, well, at the end of the day, I've got proof of the calls. Yeah. And I've got proof of everything. Right. Obviously then, online, she was like, oh, I need money for food. I need.
Oh yeah, I think I was in live there when she was on about begging for money for food and stuff. But like the housing that she's living on. She had money.
And obviously, what she's for herself is if she's trying to get those kids back, begging for money for food, it's a very bad look on you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like the person who I'm talking to right now,
Isn't that Rangy? Like Rangy.
yeah, he has basically gone to her social worker and said she's come online instead of trying to go out and find support on social services. She's going live and asking for money.
Which is not the right way to do it, because it's so like you get with so many people online, and then people will do it, and then you know you're not going to get your kids back.
I'm 100%. Like he obviously offered, same as he's offered to another parent. He's amazing. Like I cannot fault the guy.
Yeah.
He's offered to obviously another lady. So obviously.
So that's how he operates, guys, right? That is how he operates. He will force money onto these young mothers. And once these young mothers wake up to his bullshit, he starts turning against them, threatening them, telling them he knows what foster homes the children are. He is a joke. This is what else he did before he just got kicked out of his home in Hartlepool. He set up an attack at his own home address. Watch this. Watch the camera. The reason why I find that interesting is because it's almost like someone's controlling that camera, and yet that attack was supposed to have took place whilst he was out doing his little tour, apparently. But once again, I know cameras can zoom in and out, but like you just said there, Paul, someone was actually holding it. Where's bloody Vimto disappeared to? 1 second. Just want to get a particular video up just to show you how scary this shithead is.
No, you just called me. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. You got a hat on. Actually, this is
Right, so I want you all to listen to this now, guys, please. This is Mr. Hussein. I'm going to let you read the screen. Put it this way. This guy went out of his way to try and silence me. He parked outside my home. Now I'm being told that he's originally, now at the minute, living in Oldham, not Bradford. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? Anyway, I wasn't scared of this creature. I just told him how it was. I've even said, next time, please knock on the door. I'll send the dogs out. This is where these men go wrong with me. And when we look at what happened with the grooming gang situation, yeah. Well, what happened with the victims? They got tormented. They tried to get silence. In fact, most of them did get silence to the point they moved out of areas. So then, you think, how worse can it get? Well, I'm about to show you something now, which I exposed. And this creature, he asked for it. Thank you, Lily. He asked for it. 1 minute, guys. Get yourself ready for this. This is Rangy's partner in crime. They both currently live together today. So him and Rangy are both residing with one another. This man, not only did he commit the crimes that I'm about to read out to him, so he asked me to go and do a deep dive on him. I did. And you're going to listen to every bit of it now. But he also recorded his own crimes, the abuse he did to his brother. Just keep watching.
2011 and 2014. He was involved in 300 personal injury claims
Okay.
Am I right? Am I wrong?
Wow. Well, continue.
Amounting to 167 grand. You created fake insurance policies using stolen identities from care home residents and deceased individuals. You fabricated car accidents. You used deceased people's identity. And you was associated with Luxury Cars Specialists Limited, Wakefield. He was a director in that business from 2012 to 2014 when your world come, crashing down because you went to prison. And that involved high-end vehicles, but then it was soon dissolved. So you was a manager as well at CJ's Taxis. 1 second. 1 minute. We'll have all the juicy info.
Go on.
In January 2016, you was found guilty of the 5 counts of fraud by abuse. You exploited your role as a carer for financial gains, which amounted to $316,000 in direct care and welfare payments, and then you lived a luxury lifestyle of all your family's money. You bought yourself a gold bar, basically, a private number plate, and then
Do you know what the private number plate spelled?
No, I don't really need to know that. However, I'm more bothered about the crimes you've committed, not your bloody number plate spelling. After a confiscation hearing under the Proceeds of Crime Act, a court ordered you now to pay £462,515.81, and now you're probably paying about £1.50 a week. Am I right?
You're partially right, but
not partially, because this is like just a...
It'll go on to the next clip in a minute, guys.
I didn't mention the name, but one of the campaigners, highly respect for what he's doing. I mean, he's got a brother. I didn't mention the name, but Talib is one of the campaigners. To what he's doing. I mean, he's got a brother in the system. He's got disability issues, but they're not letting him see his own brother. They're keeping him away. Instead of him looking after him, they're keeping him because they're making a lot more money. That's what I see. And he does a lot of work. And people, instead of supporting him, people use things against him and talk nonsense, really.
Stop.
And then get targeted over it and getting targeted.
And that's it. So I just need to question something here. So he's going on like, Brother Talib has done all this work. Now my question to you, Talib, is what actual work have you done? Apart from make your AI things and come on TikTok and what actual work have you done? So what's he referring to then? He also says, basically, it comes down to money. Well, isn't it fair to say, you owe a lot more, don't you, to the government than what they're probably funding to keep your brother right now? So really, it feels to me, this game with you and Rangy, it's getting a little bit deep now, isn't it? Because he's referring to you as one of the campaigners, which in my eyes, your class is now a minion.
There's a difference between being a campaigner.
No, you're one of the campaigners.
I think you're just jumping over mental hoops to try to find something to say about this guy.
Anyway, let's get back to these sport cars.
You
was giving these luxury cars to you back in the day.
Look, you know what? It's kind of like you're really losing me here. I thought you were going to give me some dirt on Rangy and...
No, you wanted dirt on yourself, so I'm feeding it you. You wanted this, I'm giving it you.
You are doing a terrible job as an inspector.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
What you're trying to make is a connection between me and Rangy.
Right, tell me, if I'm a crap inspector, then tell me everything I've just told you tonight is wrong.
You're misguided.
Go on then.
If you're an inspector, all right, and you were on his live,
Why? I was just saying this to Rangy. You think really? I'm just trying to say there's really psychotic people out there, and this is the kind of message.
You're psychotic.
Trigger warning.
What did you admit the other night? You said you went to your doctor, didn't you? And you told your doctor you were going to slice your brother's throat. Am I right or wrong?
That's messed up.
He did, you know, that he admitted it. I've even got it on live. So he said that in the hope that somebody will come in and take his brother. Well, he got what he wanted.
No, would you ever say that? Honestly, why would you ever say that? That is wrong. That is disgusting.
Why?
Because that's disgusting. How is that not? You want to do that to your brother?
Hold on. Let me explain myself then. I said things. I didn't do them though, did I?
No, but you could have done.
The difference isn't that. There's a difference between saying things and doing things.
But you still could do it now.
I'm sorry, but honestly, my brothers, my two younger brothers, I love them so much. I would never even be able to say
You're
that.
brilliant. I've told you I'm a bad man. What else do you want me to say?
Should you be on a public platform talking to people if you've obviously got some mental health issues?
Okay, I've got mental health issues.
You've went to a GP and said that you're going to slit your brother's throat. Like, is that not mental health issues?
Well, I don't think I've got mental health issues. Why? Well, more than him. The last time I went into his room was last.
This is what he did to his brother. Before now, you watch this is a trigger warning. This is what his poor brother had to live in this man's care who wanted to slice his throat. Trigger warning. TikTok shop, we love ya.
I did check up on him, but he was asleep earlier on. So on the 17th of July 2018, Talib did not even leave his room. He stayed in bed all day, and that's been the same case today. So the only time he must have go up is to go to the toilet, but he's not been up all day yesterday, and he's not been up all day today. And this is a clear sign of neglect. So I'm just going to go in to find out what he's doing today. As you can see, look, he's wet through. Oh my God, it stinks in here. As you can see, his clothes are all wet. Alright, just sat there in his own urine. Alright, Talib, ठीक हो? कक्का यार? खासो पीसो के जे? This is a really big sight here last night. Papa, पेशाब नहीं किए तो मैं नाला बसी न पहले, है ना? So as you can see there, his clothes are all wet. He's just fully wet in all his clothes. He's sat there, you can see all the urine's gone up his side of his clothes, and he's not bothered to get out of bed. And he's been in here all day. I mean, this is clearly neglect. There's no other word for it. That he's now so incapacitated that he can't get out of bed. Now, there's very little I can do to help and assist him. As you can see, he's just not even bothered getting out of bed. He's not changed his pad. He's been sat here.
So, by the way, guys, everything I'm playing is still on public platform. This guy shares all this himself. This is where he actually went wrong. So, that's his poor brother there. God bless him. And you know what? He is just a victim in all of this. So, please, everyone, I hope you find it in your heart tonight just to show that man there the respect that he needs, because it's not his fault what his brother's done to him. It's horrible. It really is. I know the ins and outs of this situation. However, this poor guy, Talib, was in his brother's care. And yet his brother is whinging that he can't cope looking after him, but he was too busy claiming the benefits, spending it on a luxury lifestyle. And yet his poor family didn't even have a bed sheet. And this ain't just it. He did the same with his mother. Then they come on here and claim, don't forget now, this is Rangy's minion, as you've all heard. Yeah? They all claim that the local authority are in the wrong. The councils are in the wrong. Well, I'm sorry, but who leaves their brother, their loved one, to live in squalor like that? If you took a duty to take care of that person, you take care of them. You don't leave them like that. But this man was only interested, in the money. And you're going to see a little bit more of that now.
All day, like I said, he hasn't even bothered to get out of bed yesterday. He's been sat in his own excrement and urine all day today.
Poor man.
And we we are not getting any support from the authorities. I've told the doctor about it, and obviously raise safeguarding alerts, but nothing is being done to aid and assist Talib, and he's quite happy to sit here, lie here, wasting away unless somebody intervenes and helps him. The only person that's intervening and helping is myself, and as I've explained, the only thing that he's had to eat yesterday is half a Weetabix, half a plate of Weetabix, which I gave him yesterday. It was not even a full Weetabix bowl. It was half a bowl of Weetabix I had yesterday.
Exactly,
and
Paul.
On the 18th of July 2018,
we'll get to that bit in a
at
minute.
6 o'clock, he's not done anything. So I'm having to intervene now, considering 1st of July 2019.
There's his mum.
And I'm sat here with my mum the day before
God bless her soul.
court. And I just wanted to engage my mum and see how she's doing and what her views and opinions are. Bidiji?
Yeah.
Kale?
Yeah.
Allah, मैं पता क्या है मैं कल कोर्ट में बुलाया ने
क्या
आने तेरे मौने पैसे ने वाली वारसी ने फैसला कर सा
क्या
तेरे पैसे ने वाली वारसी ने फैसला कर सा
कब से आज
ना पैसे नहीं तेरे पैसे
हाँ
तेरी दौलत तेरे पैसे ने जिम्मेदार ने फैसला कर सा
हाँ
तेरे पैसे ने जरा जिम्मेदार बंदा उसी ने अपना फैसला कर सा ठीक है तो मैं उन्हें यह वाली मानी मां ते सकना ते एक ही सगला मान लगे भी हो वो जिम्मे था
You should feel ashamed if you are a Muslim woman and put you're a Muslim woman. I am out here. What are you doing here?
So, the last bit you've just said there, Paul. So what he likes to do is self-praise. A lot of these groups do that. So he wants to be seen now like he's doing something really good because now he's having to intervene to remind his brother it's feeding time when he's feeding. But that bowl of Weetabix had been there since the day before, and unfortunately that's what was all to offer, was Weetabix.
I mean, I'm sorry, but surely cleaning that poor guy and cleaning his clothes is more of a priority right now. How can you let him lay there like that? That poor guy, you can see he's just mentally broken.
And now you've got them trying to expose the council for being in the wrong. Well, this is Shazad going to the nursing home trying to get access to see Talib. Listen to how he treats carers that are working extremely hard in this nursing home to safeguard vulnerable adults. Now just watch this.
Social media. How dare you? How dare you take her out of it? So open the door. I'm ringing the police. Anyway, the police are on the way. Yeah, the police are on the way. So you're fair enough. I'm recording. You're recording. That's all right. Okay, let the police come. I've also made a complaint as well. We'll see about it. Yeah, I'm recording too. So we haven't done anything. Yeah. You heard me. You heard me. Call my husband. Yeah, you said you call your husband on me. No, you said call my husband. Yeah, you said my husband. Yeah, you're going to show your husband what? Yeah, I'm married. It's against. I have to show my husband that you're putting me on social media. You're working, aren't you? You're prostituting yourself for money. For money, aren't you? Why are you doing here? Why are you doing here? Why are you doing working here and exploiting my brother and hurting him and harming him?
Imagine going to work at a nursing home and you've got people like that turning up, shouting that you're one of them, a prostitute, yeah? Like, who is this guy? Is this all they can do is harass? Imagine that being your mum, your sister going to work and she becomes target like that. No. Well, I asked this man, why did he feel the need to do this? And do you know what he said? Because he wouldn't let him see his brother. Keep watching.
No, I just prostituting your services. Prostituting your services, I said. Excuse me? The police, can you get this man off this building? He's calling me a prostitute. I didn't call you a prostitute. I recorded it. I didn't. I said prostituting your services. I recorded it. You're not ever coming in this building. Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm free to go now. No, I'm recording it. I recorded it. Yeah? I'm leaving. Open the door open. No, definitely. You're on social media and it's against my religion. It's not against your religion. It's not against your religion. No, I won't. Yeah, that's what you're. I want that recording. No, you're not going to get recording. Yeah. You recorded me as well. I am walking. I'm going to stop this recording. All people recording.
safety, I'm going to keep on recording. We'll have a chat. Come on. Right, that's fine. But I don't know. I don't know. So. You get this. Right. What's going on? So what's happened today is it's Christmas today, as you know. I have come down to see my brother there, and I've been denied access to see my brother. Okay. What's happened is that my brother's been kidnapped from my care over 500 days ago. All right. Okay. All right. So there's a police investigation going on right now against myself neglecting my brother. So that was done on the third. Let me just. I don't need. You're recording, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, you're recording. Yeah. So I can ask for a copy of this, can't I? Yeah. So I don't need to record then. Yeah. All right. Just hold on a second. Let me just stop this recording. So you're recording, and I can get a copy of this. You don't have an issue, yes? Yeah, that's fine. All right.
Police officer, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've got vulnerable patients and that's
Okay.
No, shut the door, please.
I would like to see my brother.
Right, shut the door.
Yeah, go on.
Shut the door, please.
No. I would like to see my
I've
brother.
got vulnerable patients in here.
It doesn't matter.
Can you shut the door,
I would like to see my brother for Christmas.
Right.
Go call the police. Go call the police.
Hi, shut the door. Hi, we're ringing from Sunningdale Care Home, and we've got...
Say that again, Paul.
Is just so I'm getting it right. Is this the brother that we just see on the bed being neglected? He's now in
That's correct.
here.
Yeah.
Good.
He's now in
Right,
this
okay,
nursing
I'm glad.
home. But he's now threatening the women and the nursing staff, and you can clearly hear her. She's trying to protect all the vulnerable old people in the nursing home, but he's not giving up.
Right.
Vulnerable patients here. We've got a visitor that's turned up at the door, and he's got his hand on the door, and he's not letting me shut the door. We've got vulnerable residents that have kind of absconded from the building.
Okay.
Because he's saying that he's come to visit his brother.
On Christmas.
But there's things in place.
There's no place in place. You're holding on to the cocktail.
I'm not holding.
You are.
Me.
Yes.
No.
You
need to contact the manager.
How many
closing
No.
in the garden.
Call the police. Call the police.
Excuse me, can I have the police officers here?
Go on.
5 North Park Road, Sunningdale Care Home. His brother's inside the building.
I'd like to see my brother for Christmas.
No, excuse me.
There's nothing preventing it.
No.
I would like to see Sally. Get in there and see Sally, and I'll come back and talk to you.
Okay, well, like I said,
I give you all the time that you've been trying.
Okay, well, I said I'm going to tell him out.
No, I want to.
Why are you in a why? You enter the property.
Because of the YouTube video.
What YouTube video? Oh, so is that the issue that you have concerns with?
Yeah, because there's evidence of severe self-neglect, and I've got you have highlighted in that video that we have failed your brother.
Yes.
So I need to see your brother so we can come to the library.
So I'm just trying to understand why you need to go inside. I can bring him outside. Yeah, of course. Addiction.
No, I'm not.
You're just attention, or if you're so concerned, okay? Listen, actually, see ya. Okay, please, alright? Well, first warning, okay?
Why are you giving me a warning for?
Because I'm just saying, I don't want to end up, right? Don't be trying to, you know...
Oh, okay, you talk,
like that.
sorry,
Okay, I am going to talk to you, alright? They're going to assess it, okay, under the Mental Health Act, okay? We're here, okay? Rightly so, as Nadia said, to prevent any breach of the peace, okay? Now, I don't know you, okay? I've never met you before, you've never met me before.
Love you, Paul. Good night.
I've been, okay, informed that this is the previous time to make this thing here.
Say that again, Lily.
I'm going to get myself off now, okay?
All right, darling. Good night.
Good night.
Bye, darling.
Or other specialists that be around, okay? We don't allow them to do their job or do their assessment. I'm not passing no judgment on that, okay? Don't interrupt me, okay? I'm not saying if that's true or not, okay? I'm here to make sure they can do their job.
1 minute, Vincent.
Alright, what we're going to do, okay? We're all going to go inside now. They're going to do their job. You can talk to us as much as you want. Alright. Inside.
No, man, just hold on. Let me explain. There's a vulnerable woman there. You know, you have to prioritize my mom. Okay, my mom's in there. You know, I don't. I'm preventing you. Just listen.
Go inside, okay?
Listen to me. Listen to you. Listen to me.
Okay, I'm using power, okay? Section 78, okay? So, okay, so we're going to collect them, okay? I'm going to use my power now and access that away. Okay? These people come in as well.
I could remove my mom from the scene. If my mom's here, recommend her. I don't want her to be involved.
Why did you go sit your mom there and make sure
my mom's in the same room. So let my mom.
No, they're both in so my mum doesn't see any police officer because obviously she's elderly. That's my only concern. This is the reason I was preventing you from coming in for my mum's sake. But if I can ask you to be outside, why would you just say that first of all? You didn't give me an opportunity. Your mum's in there. Yes. Okay, where are you taking her? I'm going to take her to that room. It's in here. Yes. 6. Yeah, I don't want any uniform officers. I don't mind you being there. Okay. You don't mind me? Yeah, you can stay here. Everybody else can go. You guys can come. No. He gives me one person. It's going to take 2 minutes to take my mum from there.
And then somebody else can come with me.
Well, one of the person that I don't want to go too many people. If everybody else can stay outside, I'm going to give my mum power.
I want to actually go outside and see this.
Oh, come on, man. You can just wait. You can stand over there. I'm just going to go with my mum. You just stay here. Yeah, well, I'll go get my mum. Okay. Everyone okay? No, Susan, I'm telling you, look, you haven't ever seen him before. I can assure you.
I've seen many people.
I know
you've
you
been doing this for 33 years.
No,
I know what I'm talking about.
But you're not an expert. All right.
I am an expert.
All right. Well, let me tell you what I'm an expert of. Okay, I've been doing this now for 23 years directly.
Doing what?
Caring for my brother.
Right.
So I'm an expert at his conduct and behaviour. He has tardive dyskinesia or something. He has problems walking.
So why are you refusing contact with services then?
I'm not refusing.
You can help.
No, but these people are not helping.
Why didn't you let me in?
No, I'm not. No, I can't let you into the house.
How would you think, if you were me, what would you think of that? If you were me,
if you were me,
and you wouldn't let me in the house,
yes.
I'd be thinking, why not?
Well, you can see my brother. Why? I would be asking.
I'm worried about him.
You're worried about him because you've been told to be worried about him.
No. I'm seeing with my own eyes someone who's really looks pretty unwell to me.
I can assure you.
And smells strongly of your
Yes, I've just got to change him.
Concerned about the level of care he's getting from you.
So what's the alternative then? So you're going to take care of him, that's council. And you're going to use the money that you've accumulated, hundreds of thousands of pounds, to put into a care home, all right? So you can then use that money and then you tell everybody that you're doing the job properly.
That's not my
Yes. That's exactly what's going on here. I've clicked it.
What's really bothering you? The fact that you'd lose his money if he went...
I don't have any money. I don't have his money, do I? You got all his money. You're the council.
I'm just concerned about it.
If you were concerned, all right, so if you were concerned, why has not previous attempts been made to arrange something with me rather than coming with the police?
No, it's not.
No, it isn't. Let me explain. When was the last time a welfare check was carried out? Patient, you don't know the full history, okay? You don't know.
Ring in the police.
Go ring up the police.
Can you please leave this list?
No. By the Dr. Jar, that she feels threatened by me, and I asked her for justification.
Now listen to this, guys. This is the important bit.
Dr. Poonam, is it Peel Park Surgery?
Yes.
They've thrown you off the list.
They've not informed me of this.
All right, okay.
I mean,
I think there was some issue between the practice and yourself.
Well, look, sorry, can I ask who you are first?
I'm the doctor for the Safe Haven service, but if you're not sure what it is, I'll leave it for now.
No, it's okay.
I'll get the manager to ring you.
No, just okay. No, just tell me what's happened, because obviously, where is Safe Haven based?
It's basically a virtual service. It's a service for patients who've been thrown off the list on the basis of aggression or threatening nature.
I see, aggression or threatening nature there, because obviously I've only been informed by the Dr. Jar that she feels threatened by me, and I asked her for justification, and she failed to give me that justification, and I feel the fact that this is being deployed malevolently, because obviously I had raised questions regarding her conduct and behaviour, and rather than responding to those questions, I've just been thrown off her list, because ideally what normally happens is that they write out to you or give you some notice, don't they?
Okay, fine. I'll get the manager to ring you.
No, just hold on, just 1 second, please, sir. Can I ask who you are?
Yeah, I'm the GP. I'm just covering for today. I'm not your normal GP.
Yes.
But what it is, there is a particular service called the Safe Haven service, yeah? It is for, like I said, patients who've been thrown off the GP list who've shown aggression or threatening behavior.
Okay.
Dr. Jha has thrown you off her list.
Can I, just 1 second, sorry, sir. What date did she throw me off her list?
On Monday the 23rd, yesterday.
Oh, so she threw me off a list yesterday because she called me on Friday, and obviously I'm still waiting to hear back from her in writing regarding the inquiries I had made. So on Monday she's thrown me off the list, and and therefore once somebody's thrown off the list like this because they've been aggressive or whatever, they come to Safe Haven.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and Safe Haven, what is your purpose at Safe Haven?
Basically, you remain with the Safe Haven service for about 6 months, and then it's like a protected service where there is because it is deemed that you've got aggressive tendencies. That's what it is for.
I've got aggressive tendency because what's actually happened is, obviously, as you can appreciate, this service is appropriate for certain people that do have aggressive tendencies. Now, in my particular circumstances, what I've raised on where Dr. Jar has been obviously feeling guilty, all right, because of her failures, he's utilized this process and discharged us. Okay, good, that's fair enough, doctor.
That's nothing to do with me.
Yes.
I can ask the manager to read. If you've got concerns that you've been thrown off the list,
Yeah, guys. So that there is an idiot for starters who recorded his own crimes. But you've just heard a GP tell this man he's got violent tendencies. And then at the beginning of all of that, you've just heard he is one of the campaigners for Rangy. But then do you know what gets more deeper? They both live together today. Don't live him tell.
Yeah, they do. Sorry, mate. Mark was scratching my back. I was half and half, but yeah, you're right. They do.
Are you knackered? I'm going to go in a minute anyway because we'll get back to this tomorrow. But all I'm getting at now with everything that I put out there tonight, the men that work with Rangy, the men that intimidate people on behalf of Rangy, the families now that he's targeting, he's helping that tribe, yeah, in the woods in Scotland, which now is becoming scary. We've got people losing their lives. I don't want that poor girl to be the next Leah Johnson. I'm really scared for that young poor girl, and we need to get her back home to Texas. And I just think people need to start shouting this out now from the rooftops rather than coming on here spouting out shit. It's all right saying the local authorities are out there doing trafficking and whatnot, but because everyone's distracted by the government shit, they're not actually seeing right under their eyes there is real criminals getting away with God knows what when they want. So I'm just going to remind you, that poor girl there on your left is no longer with us. That girl on your right is the new girl now taking over the place of the girl on your left. And all that girl on the left wanted to do was leave that cult. She wanted to leave and go back home, and she did. And her life was took, just like that. So all I'm saying is, guys, there's a lot more into this shit, and tomorrow we're going to do round 2. I do apologise about earlier on. It's just I am feeling very sensitive at the minute, and when it comes down to anyone trying to go on about this social services malark, well, I've had enough of social services myself. And while people are too busy going, oh, they're corrupt, they're taking people's kids, I can tell you now, they're not just taking people's kids. Do you know where I live? Well, Angela Rayner's just put her, she's resigned, hasn't she, today? Well, yeah, I hope she's happy with herself. Because you know what she's done to our town? She lives right round the corner from me, that bitch does. And when I see her, because she won't be in that little fluffy helicopter now above my fucking garden, she'll be in the streets walking. And I'll say to her, hey, Angela, how do you feel that you've left our social services in squalor? I mean, it's being run by a bunch of kids. Going in there telling parents who've got 18, 19-year-olds how to be mums, go away. You're fucking 19 yourself. What do you know? Reading a book at university. Well, us mums didn't get a book. Do you know what I mean? We have to get on with it. However, There's women and kids being harmed. And do you know what's really got on my nerves right now about social services? And I'm sick to the back teeth of hearing all these people go, oh, they just take your kids away. They're corrupt. No, I'll tell you what they are. They're lazy. They're incompetent. And they don't give a crap. Yeah, they don't know what safeguarding is half the time. It don't make them corrupt. You know why that is? Because, you know, a young girl has just been murdered in this area. 14 years of age. Great, murdered. And there's 2 other girls involved as well that have now been raped by a 16-year-old male. Now, a lot of people on here are quick enough to give the one-sided stories, and like Rangy, he'll go and stick up for anything in. But do you know what really gets to my fucking head? Is when people can't see bigger pictures. When people sit there, oh, social workers just want to take your kids and they remove them, do they? So why didn't that 16-year-old get removed off his parents when they went and told social workers what he was up to with sexualised behaviour towards young girls? Why did no one go and deal with the referrals that were landing on the desks about that male going out into school showing inappropriate behaviour? Because you're all quick enough, aren't you, to sit on here and go, they get referrals and they're false and they're manufactured. Well, I'll tell you what we get round here. We get lazy social workers that will sit there with referrals of GPs, mental health workers, and schools stating what's been going on behind closed doors for some of these young girls that are now missing. And you know, there's a girl right now missing, 13 years of age. In fact, the helicopters have been going off all night. 48 hours she's been gone now. So once again, that's another panic. Oh, and then not to mention, we've got Aisha Appleton from Ashton-under-Lyne as well. Went to Tameside College here. And I hope whoever knows Angela Rayner, go and let her know this shit, yeah, because this is what I'm saying. We need to focus on the real shit that's going on right now. So Aisha Appleton, you can go and search her up on Google. She went to Tameside College. Poor girl had autism and she had other learning disabilities. To the point she did need a bit of guidance. She needed a carer. But, you know, because of lack of services around here and funding, she couldn't get one. So they put her into the mainstream college, but then allowed adults, you know, adults, I'm talking 50, 60 odd year olds, to now start mixing in the canteen with the vulnerable young people from certain groups in that college. Well, she was groomed by one of these men. Promised, come back to mine after college. I'll get you a few beers from the shop. Well, that's what happened. And do you know where that poor girl is now? Somewhere out there in a different city. The guy raped and she murdered her. And even today, the police and the family here in Ashton-under-Lyne want answers. Where is she? Because that family now wants closure. But once again, my question is, what was the fucking local authority doing? What was the educational services doing? So you know why you lot, yeah, you know who I'm referring to now, are talking about what happened in 1960, 70, 80, 90. I don't care. Because we're in 2025 and nothing's changed. Do you understand? And when I'm watching in my hometown, girls, it's been girls murdered and raped. Then I'm sorry, but I've now got to say, wow, we've got an issue here, but it certainly ain't corruption. It's lazy and incompetent, and it all comes down to a lack of funding because there's no decent social workers. And you know what? I don't blame social workers for not wanting to be a social worker when there's people like half of you who go round getting yourself ASBOs because you're putting targets on the freaking backs. Who do y'all think you are, the mafia? This is why some of you couldn't get your kids back in the first place. And after tonight, I've woke up a little bit now with certain people on here because I will not, ever, ever be patronising. I certainly will not feel bad because other people's cases went differently. I'm more asked about what's going on today now. And even though my kids are young men, I promised my social services after what happened with my mother, I wasn't going anywhere. So today, I don't need to stand outside a building with a billboard. I dress smart, play smart, go in, shake hands with professionals, and I talk about changes. But you see, Angela Rayner, she would resign right now, wouldn't she? Because you know why that is? Because our fucking social services right now are under special measures and being ran by the Labour government itself. Okay. So do you want to speak about MPs and what you think you know? Because you don't, all of you have never mentioned Tameside. You seem to know about all these scandals, don't you, in different areas apparently. So why don't you know about the scandals round here? No, that's right. You just come on, you join a bandwagon, and you just want to act like you're really passionate about, oh, you know this, you know that, but you don't. Because if you really knew about social services, you'd know, just as Rangy would say, it's not happening in one area, it's happening in every area. But you see Tameside, go and type it in on Google. Go and type it in. But no, what I've noticed is you all focus on your own situations. And then you're using these poor, vulnerable individuals here for what? Scoring points. Also to manipulate and do your dirty work. You can't target people directly or social workers, Rangy. So people like this, they do great for you, don't they? Because they stood outside houses threatening professionals. So you can't do it, so you'll send others to do it. Because you're giving out your false promises. I will get your children back. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. That's the deal you're doing with some of these parents, and it's now getting way out of control. And you know, I am really disgusted in some of the people on this app lately. I am. Because, well, I watched that Jodie and Jem the other night taking a piss out of, you know, this Kingdom Kabbalah, and it's nothing to laugh at. You can all sit there and go, oh, Kabbalah, making jokes about it, but it's not jokeable, is it? When the girl on the left is no longer here, and the girl on the right now is going to potentially become the next victim. It's sad. It's sick. People need to stop and start listening and understanding what's going on right in front of them. Because while everyone's too busy doing a lot of deflection, when it's the social worker's fault, the police's fault, you're really stupid. Because while they're all doing that, they're the ones that are committing the crimes. So please, guys, stop believing in this bullshit now. Stop believing. Yeah, I do get you've had your issues with the local authority and the system. Have your own little personal fight, but do not get into these groups. Do not let these groups incite you into any hate or violence towards the police. That's another thing that upsets me, the police. I hate the police, but we need the police, right? Imagine your child going out tomorrow getting attacked and you need to ring 999. Yeah? You can't get through. Why is that? Because you've got all these tinfoil hat wearing idiots wasting police time, resources, everything. Because they're blocking up doorways, entrances of emergency services. Then they're attacking them. And believe me, tomorrow night we'll go through the rest of this story. And we'll get through the rest of everything else with Rangy. We'll do a bit of cam-toing as well, because I do know he's going to be live, guys. But seriously, I am begging everyone now, please stop entertaining these groups. Stop listening to them. Go and do your own little fight, but just do it appropriately and do not get yourself into any trouble. Because remember, every action you give to whether it's the local authority, any part of the government, you know it's only going to backlash. And I can tell you that from experience. You will lose your children. Don't listen to these groups, because I want you to just remember, you know, these groups are not professionals. Some of them have got criminal records. Some of them are not allowed to see the kids because of the most disgusting crimes going. How can anyone even condone this and sit there and even allow someone to come on, like I've had to listen to? Well, I got accused of doing this to my child. They say it like it's the norm, and it's not the fucking norm. right? It's not. And there is a lot of enablers on here. There is. And it's got to stop. It really has, guys, because it's now getting beyond a joke, if I'm honest, and it's putting a lot of people at risk. Is it worth it? No. But as I say, God forbid your child gets attacked tomorrow, you need to rely on the police, and you can't get the police out or an ambulance because these idiots are taking the time up of them services. That's not right. They shouldn't be getting away with this shit. They're also not police officers, and they're calling themselves peace officers, threatening to put handcuffs on you. Well, let me just tell you now, if you do come across that absolute idiot, Rangy Latif, and he thinks he's going to whip out any handcuffs, he will be committing a crime. Because as the police said, he's got no authority or license to be carrying any handcuffs, any weapons, and he certainly does not hold a license to go around and put his fingers on anybody. So I dare that big man to come anywhere near me, because I've been waiting 19 months. Instead of sending his little cronies in that have been done for fraud and abusing his family members, then he's claiming, oh, that's one of my protesters. Yeah. Just remember, every single person I have exposed, along with Rangy, have all got backgrounds. Nasty, nasty backgrounds. So you lot need to start taking that in. Every single one of them. And if you want more clarification, go onto my TikTok and you'll find that out. So I'm going to leave yous, love yous and leave yous now this evening, guys. But a massive thank you for listening. That's all I ever asked for. And you know what? Apart from earlier on the disruption, I have enjoyed doing this because this is what I love doing. Don't want anything in return apart from you to listen and keep yourself safe. Have a bit more insight into what is really going on in front of you. It's not entertainment. It's almost like clickbait. You know, clickbait, banter. It's not banter. There's 2 other young ladies right now in China that are being exploited. You've got Wolong and XOXO. Now, I've been observing that situation for a very long time. Them poor girls are lashing out in the videos and people are finding it entertaining. Why they're lashing out? Because someone behind them are pinching them, kicking them, irritating them. Why they're lashing out? Because they've got a learning disability, and it means within that learning disability they react within violent, outbursts. But these girls are not little girls, they are grown women. And yet you've got idiots sat online gifting these adults that are supposed to be taking care of these vulnerable individuals. And instead it's heartbreaking to see these poor girls being exploited. Wolong, she has got a bad back. She's got a hump in the top of her back. She holds her hips because she can barely stand up for long on her skinny little legs. How does anyone find that entertaining? Eh? She's tired. She comes on the screen with black eyes and you're just like, oh my God. So if you guys ain't gifting a certain amount, what do you think's going to happen when they come off that camera? Well, the girls ain't trying hard enough. So then they get hurt. They get controlled behind the scenes. And this is what some people, I do know all this into depth because once again, I've gone out and I've done my training. I've got all my qualifications within this particular topic. But you know, the idiots that try and undermine my work on here and try and say, how do you know all of this? Because I care. I truly care. I don't sit here and take the piss. I'm not sitting here laughing that a young girl, a young woman is being used to dance all day and night in front of a camera when her legs are about to just snap and break. I don't even know how anyone can sit there because that is not a human. That is not a human who sits there and just watches that. I'm sorry, it's not. So I'm going to go now, guys, because I'm getting very overwhelmed. I'm tired and trust me, I put a lot of my shit into my life and soul into what I do. So yeah, I will all see you tomorrow. Remember, stay safe. It's weekend. So if you're going on a night out, ladies, make sure when you're getting in a taxi in the evening, and you men, take a picture of the number plate of the taxi that you're getting into. Send it to a friend, your mum, your dad, whoever, and make sure you tell them you're in that taxi. Okay? Right, guys, so good night and God bless. Love to you all once again. Thank you so much for listening tonight. You really have actually just made me feel a bit normal again, other than the disruption earlier. But yeah, we sorted that, so thank you. Thanks, Cat, sweetheart. Good night and God bless. Right, guys, I will see you all tomorrow evening about 9:30, and we'll carry on with this storyline. So, yeah, good night and God bless, my lovelies. And God bless, my lovelies. God bless, my lovelies.